Hey there guys, welcome back. Today I am diving into yet another journey into the world of horror cinema. Today I am tackling a film that puts a terrifying twist on a beloved tale, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, a 2025 reimagining directed by Scott Chambers and starring Martin Portlock. Let's soar into this dark Neverland and break it down. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare attempts to blend childhood nostalgia with spine-chilling horror. The film offers a sinister reimagining of the classic Peter Pan story, turning the whimsical land of Neverland into a haunting nightmare. In this version, Peter Pan, portrayed by Martin Portlock, is far from the playful hero that, we remember when we were growing up. He takes on this dark and disturbing persona, luring unsuspecting children to a corrupted Neverland that thrives on fear and despair. Now, I actually did a trailer reaction to this a while back, and I didn't exactly have high hopes for this movie, but I think at the time, I thought that it looked decent, and it looked okay. It looked reasonably watchable. However, my opinion has changed, starting with the first half of this film. Oh my god, I have to say, it was a massive letdown. The pacing felt very sluggish, the horror elements failed to hit home, the eerie atmosphere struggled to captivate, relying heavily on predictable tropes and less on genuine suspense. Now, while the visuals were beautifully dark, I will give it to them, the storytelling lacked everything. It lacked depth, leaving me questioning whether to actually watch this movie to the very end, because I was seriously struggling for the first half of this movie. I mean, I did stick it out, and thankfully the second half did show some improvement. As the film progressed, the stakes were raised and the characters were evolved ever so slightly, turning what initially felt stale into something a little bit more engaging. The horror elements did become bolder, and the tension between the characters started to resonate. Now, Scott Chambers, he managed to create a few standout scenes that were genuinely unsettling. I mean, some of those kill scenes in the movie, they are very gory, they are very brutal, but again, there were certain kill scenes that just seemed to be kills for the sake of it, and up until the final 20 minutes, I didn't really care about any of these characters due to real lack of character development, apart from maybe Wendy, who I do think carried this film really well in the final 20 minutes, especially during that, that showdown scene in the house, which once again was very, very brutal and very, very bloody. And in my own personal opinion, and I might be going out on a limb here, but I did feel that final bloody showdown was on par with the final fight scene, with Art the Clown and Sienna in Terrifier 2. And do you know what? That is what does my head in. They 100% put everything into that final act, but not very much into the first half and probably the majority of this movie. Had they got the first half right, this could have been an incredible movie. Something amazing could have been born. There were some horrific moments during the build-up, especially the part where Peter Pan kidnaps all of those children off the school bus and then he murders them in the woods, and we see the news report and the flashbacks to those children's lifeless bodies. Things like that does kind of give you the creeps, and it might keep you engaged until you do get to that third act, but it is a massive struggle. Hats off to Martin Portlock. He did bring an intriguing intensity to his role as Peter Pan, transforming that character. You wouldn't want to follow him to Neverland, to put it that way. Now, some of the supporting cast did help to sort of elevate the film, especially, towards the end of the movie. However, even their talents couldn't completely rescue the weaker narrative arcs in this movie. I mean, the concept of turning Neverland into a nightmare was bold, and I think it's quite, it's quite an interesting idea. And the visuals did justice to the darker reimagining, and the haunting landscapes and the grotesque twists on familiar elements did bring a chilling edge. However, the story just failed to fully explore the deeper themes it seemed to promise, leaving the film feeling more like a surface level horror flick, and that is me being generous. To sum it up, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare had its highs and its lows. Mainly the lows. Now, while the first half was disappointing and lacked engagement, and then the second half just managed to pick up the pace and deliver some thrilling moments, which in my opinion is definitely worth seeing at least once in your life. It's not a groundbreaking horror masterpiece, I never thought it was going to be, but it is a bit of a letdown. It is worth a watch if you are curious about this unique twist on a classic tale. If you can take anything away from my review today before you go off and see this movie, it's just sort of grit your teeth for the first half. There is a brilliant third act that will reward you, but just keep in mind that you'll probably end up thinking, am I going to be able to make it? Stick with it, guys. The third act is good. Now, I am going to give Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare a 3.9 out of 10, and do you know what? It had the potential to be so much higher, but it is what it is. So, those are my thoughts on Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. What did you think? Did you enjoy the darker take on this iconic story, or did it leave you wishing for something more, or something just completely different? Are you getting fed up of all of these reimagining horror movies based on children's stories? Let me know. Let me know and drop your comments below. Okay then, guys, well, that is a wrap. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more horror reviews and deep dives into the world of spine-tingling cinema. Thank you all for watching today, guys. I will see you all in my next video.